And welcome everybody back to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today, Mr. General Zod. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Tonight I've got some very interesting topics, some good ones to talk about. Uh, welcome Jamie Vick, welcome Lemon Pie, good to see you. And yes, I will be talking about Bezo today. Because Amazon. I found an interesting article about that. I'm going to be covering a couple of other things. But before I get started, I go into my little tangent. I start talking about things. I want to kind of cover something that I just found out about via Twitter. Um, Look, I'm going to qualify this right now. I'm going to qualify this right now. I am not a Black Panther fan. If you guys have been on my channel, you know how I feel about the movie. I thought it was overrated. Um, but I will say I did like Chadwick Boseman as an actor. I liked his other works that he did. One of my favorite movies that no one really talks about, and I'm shocked, but I love the movie Five Bridges. I remember doing a review on it. I remember people leaving me comments saying that they enjoyed the movie, but the movie was very low key. That movie I really liked of his, and I liked his portrayal of the Black Panther. It was just story issues that I had with that movie. But I loved his portrayal in Civil War. Made me actually care about the character again. I think that the saddest thing about this, look, I don't get emotional about these actors who pass away, but I do think that it's sad when an actor passes away from something they can't help. And I mean, who knew? And you guys can leave me comments. Who knew he was battling cancer for like 4 years? I don't know about you guys. You guys know I keep up with entertainment. I had no clue he was doing cancer treatments and things like that. I thought it was like a very shocking news to me because normally you get some kind of insight, right? When who was it? I believe Patrick Swayze, when he had cancer, he was shooting a film called The Beast, or it was a TV show, and it was a very good show. But you could see during that show's run how he was getting sicker. But Chadwick Boseman, there was no sign. Like I thought Black Panther 2 was a go. I saw him in other movies. I know there were photos floating out there, but I didn't realize he was legitimately really sick. And I guess that's why this kind of, yeah, Timon, he did hide it. He hid it very well. And I think that this makes this tragedy more shocking and disappointing. Look, Chadwick Boseman is a good actor. He really is. Like I said, I dislike Black Panther for the story, but I never questioned his acting. I thought he did good. I thought that everyone who was in that movie for their roles, they did well. And I thought he had a charisma on screen. He has a very commanding presence on screen. He's one of those actors that can really take the camera and they focus on him and you're engaged. And it's just really crazy. PB, what do you think about this?
I think I'm sad.
I was just saying, my feelings on Black Panther. Everybody knows them.
Yeah, you think that it's a fantastic movie. You rate it a 7 out of 10. Utter trash.
Yeah, I said personally I don't like it, but film wise, I can't give it a bad rating because of my personal feelings. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, and Timon brought up a good point in the comments. He said that Chadwick Boseman hid this condition. No one knew. Did you know? I never knew he was battling cancer.
No, but I didn't know that Neil Peart was battling cancer either.
Yeah, yeah, that's it's weird when you hear these things and you have no clue. Like 4 years, 4 years. You saw him in Black Panther. I mean, he had to be doing chemo and things like that, and it did not show
Black
whatsoever.
Panther, Infinity War, Endgame.
He did not look sick, nothing in any of them. Of course, we don't see the behind the scenes, but he was in great shape. He looked like he was working out, and I mean, he looked good in those movies.
Yeah, you look like a freaking professional wrestler.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's saying it was colon cancer. Still, with chemotherapy and things like that, I mean, it affects people differently. Some people don't lose their hair, things like that, but there was really no sign I could see that he was even sick. Although, remember a while ago, we talked about some photos that were out. Remember that? He had like a hat on and things like that. He looked
Yeah, but
kind of
he was
skinny.
always wearing some super fashionable hat.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, his face was kind of a little bit drawn in. I mean, at the time, it just seemed like you know how entertainment magazines do. They
Well,
always
I
get
mean,
the.
how are we supposed to know the difference if he was doing it for a role when you see the difference that somebody that Christian Bale goes through for the roles that he's in?
Oh yeah, Christian Bell, that movie The Machinist. Christian Bell lost an unhealthy amount of weight in that movie to do that
Yep.
portrayal, and so you can never tell if an actor is putting on a thing for a role or if they're legitimately sick. And I agree with the
Especially if they
people.
don't say anything ahead of time.
Like I agree with the people in the chat. This death to me, it doesn't hit me in the feels. It's just shocking. Like I got on Twitter and it's like Chadwick Boseman is dead.
Yeah,
With
it's shocking my subscription feed.
when Perp said he was blazing one for Chadwick Boseman and had that picture, I thought he was just blazing one. I didn't know that he had died, and then I seen rest in peace, and I was like, what? So I
Okay,
started looking, and
well,
I go,
dude, okay, well, my story is much, much worse. Way worse. Because the way that I learned of the news was in the group chat. And in the group chat, all I could see was the tweet from Geek Profits. And all it said was Chadwick Boseman dies, or Black Panther actor dies from cancer. And I figured that it was a joke article, so I started laughing immediately. And then I clicked on it, and then I saw that it was a retweet from his check mark. And then I was like, oh no. Oh no. And then I turned to my wife and I said, I have to recant my laughter because I did a bad thing.
yeah. Jamie Vick said he found out it was stage 3. Um, but that's crazy. It's like things like this get to me because this is the kind of stuff that actors can't help. These actors that pass away from stuff like this, and I mean, Jamie Vick was right. Like he was young, I feel like he was just starting to break out too. Um, Black Panther was the thing. He was getting more roles,
Dude, you
more.
can't say a line like that right now because it sets me up for too many jokes that I'm not going to say.
Yeah, we're gonna keep those inside. But I just want to say, I'm not a huge fan of the movie, but Wakanda forever. R.I.P. Man. Sad times. Sad times. Why? Let me just
Yeah,
flip this.
I
Why
guess
do
I'll
we?
join Perp through space and time. Oh, sorry, I didn't
And
mean to cut you off. What's your question?
I just want to know something. and I think everyone's going to agree with me. Why did we lose a good actor like Chadwick Boseman, but we
Oh
still
God.
got
Oh
Brie
God.
Larson's fucking YouTube
Fucking
channel?
A.
No, no, why?
Oh,
Why
okay.
did we
Okay. You're just attacking the channel. Oh, thank God. Whew,
give?
whew.
I mean,
I
you
was,
thought I
I
was
was
gonna go
afraid
to
for
the
a
other
moment.
end.
I was like, he's gonna bring up a bus. Fuck.
No, no. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, cancer is very discriminatory because here we've got white privileged Brie Larson just living her life being a total cunt bag, and we got an awesome actor, Chadwick Boseman. He's never said anything political. He's never been a douchebag. He had that role in Five Bridges. He could have said something about cops and police brutality and made it a whole statement, but he was humble.
Okay,
He
so
was,
that was the other movie that you saw him in that you told me that I should see.
yes, yes, it was a very underrated movie. I loved it. I thought he had a lot of depth. He had that R rating, so he was badass in that movie. And I was like, "Oh, this guy's going to make some great like action films." I was excited, man. I was excited for the future. And then this happened. I'm like, "Fuck, man. Wow." You know, I like what Lemon Pie put up. You want to read that?
Oh, give me a moment. Lemon Pie says, Zod, that's life. The wicked prosper and the good suffer.
I really feel that way. We got these dumbasses that make stupid statements all the time. You and me, that's what we talk about. That's our thing. And we got a good guy like Chadwick Boseman. I've heard about the different things that he did and organizations he was part of, but he was low key, kept to himself, just did just acted and brought us good entertainment, and we lose him. But yet, Brie, fuck you, Brie. We still got Brie Larson. Fuck, man. Like that, it just more pisses me off that we actually lose great talent and we're stuck with these half-ass, really terrible actors and actresses, and we got someone, who's he's been around for a while, but a great up and comer that we lose. It's so much talent to give to the world, and his life is cut short. I mean, 43 is young, man, especially this day and age.
It's
That
very young,
that's
especially now.
I mean, man, I'm in my 30s. I can't be seeing shit like this.
Well, 43 is very young, especially for the category of wealth that he is going or would have been in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tragic loss for the world of entertainment because I feel like he had, besides Black Panther, uh he had that one movie coming that was going to just really set him apart. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like he had that movie that was gonna come, that was we were gonna be like, wow, he's got so much depth or whatever. You know what I mean? He just felt like one of those actors that was not going to be just tied down to one role. Like he had range, and it's just like we're never going to get that. Fuck, man. Fuck that. It's really actually kind of depressing. like oh man, it's just like really a depressing thing, and
People
especially
on Twitter, you know what? You know what else is depressing? How dumb people on Twitter are that they can't spell panther right. And so many
yeah,
people just go along with it that hashtag Black Panther is trending. The fuck?
that explains why the hashtags aren't working. Because I put that in, I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, oh yeah, someone's got the wrong
Like,
spelling.
what the
But
fuck is a Black Panther? Nobody answer that question in the chat, please. I don't want to know. Let's keep a little mystery to life.
Here's another thing too. And like, how many, I just want to get your opinion. How many people do you think now are going to come out and start saying how great Black Panther is because of Chadwick Boseman
I
passing away?
can tell you one that isn't.
Yeah. I said, hey, look, and I said this on Twitter and had it back and forth with someone. And I'm just going to qualify this for everyone. I like the actor, but I separate the actor from the role. And if I don't like a movie just because someone passes away in an unfortunate way, I'm not going to come out and say, you know what? That movie was great. I loved it. I'm sorry, I can't be fake like that. I didn't like it then. I'm still not gonna like it now. I've watched it 2 other times to try to see if I'm missing something everyone else sees, and I'm sorry, I can't get there. I don't like the movie, but I will say the actor and the way that he portrays the role is good. He's a good actor. He has a good presence, but I don't like the movie itself. I never will. It's just like with Heath Ledger passing away. I feel like he would have never got that nomination or would have been passed up had he not passed away. Let's just be real. Like, could we honestly say that had Heath Ledger not passed away, he would have got that Oscar?
Um, I can honestly say a lot of things, and I don't know what other people were up for the award that year. So I'm gonna stick with yes. I can honestly say he would have got the fucking award because he was phenomenal in that movie. You fuck.
No, I think that yes, he gave one of the best performances, but I think the fact that he passed away, the Academy was like, "Oh, uh well shit. We got to give a comic book movie a nod cuz then we're going to look like
No, you're right.
assholes." If
Him
we don't.
passing away was them like, well, all things being equal, I guess we'll give it to the dead guy. But I'm not
That's what
entirely
Hollywood thinks.
sure that he wouldn't have won it if he would have been alive.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many times Leo was passed up and on some great movies. And he finally won for a movie that I thought was
Dude, he
okay.
won
Like The
for a
Revenant
movie
was all
that
right.
doesn't even make it into his own top five.
Yeah, that is it. How weird is that? Like, like, don't get me wrong. The Revenant is well shot. I love the ending, but that's a pretty fucking boring movie until you get to the end of the movie. Like, the scenery is great or whatever. He gets fucked up by a bear. That was one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen in a survival movie. But when you really think about that, let's be real, people. That movie is okay. I mean, it's nothing that blew me away. And yet that's the thing that got him awarded. And here he was in The Departed, to me a far better movie, and he doesn't win the award for that. I mean, that's just fucking crazy. I don't understand how Hollywood works. I guess I never will. But I had to cover this. Yeah, I had to cover this because we've got some light-hearted topics today, and I wanted to get the gloomy shit out of the way because you know everyone's talking about it, and I felt like we should give the man a nod. He was a phenomenal actor. I think the MCU lost great talent there because PB, what are they
Yeah,
going to do for Black Panther?
how they gonna square this circle?
I
Son
know,
of a bitch!
and
You asked me the question.
yeah, like
Ah,
who can you see taking that role? I can't imagine anyone who's going to
well, I
accept.
mean, they already wrote the stories frickin' a couple months ago or at the end of last year. I don't frickin' remember when it was that Shuri was gonna take over as the Black Panther at the end of Black Panther 2, going into Black Panther 3. And I was gonna do a video on it, but I got distracted by absolutely nothing by procrastinating. That's not the point. The point is, how the hell are you gonna write an article about a movie that is a sequel to a movie that doesn't even exist yet?
It's
So it'll
this
probably be
theory
her.
that the MCU is going female like everything else. I want to see them do that now. Do you know how many people would be pissed? Oh my God. You think the YouTube videos are bad now? People would be like, "Oh, fucking Marvel's going SJW." It's good. That would be the dumbest move, and Kevin's not dumb. I don't think he's gonna go that route, especially now with Bozeman passing away. Could you imagine the fucking upheaval if they come out and they say, well, Shuri's gonna be Black Panther. That'd be bullshit. I wouldn't buy it. I think that would be a slap in the face and disrespectful to the man who made that role famous. Because I didn't even like the character in the Marvel comics before Chadwick Boseman did it. When he did his portrayal in Civil War, I said, okay, Black Panther means business. This guy's the shit. Like he ain't fucking around. I loved him in Civil War. Like that to me made me hyped for the movie until I saw it. But I mean, because just the way they did his arc, the way he figured everything out while Captain America and Iron Man were fighting it out, I just thought his whole arc was one of the best things about Civil War, besides the whole movie. But you know what I mean. Like his arc was great in that movie. And, I feel like if they do something like that now, it'd be so disrespectful. It would be the most Disney thing I've seen Disney do. Like, I mean, what do you think?
What? You cut out for a second.
Um, I was gonna say, I think that if they did something like give Shuri the mantle now that Chadwick Boseman passed away, right, and they just made her become the Black Panther, I think that would be a big mistake and people would be pissed. I think it would be a disrespectful thing to do, considering the what happened. It'd be a big slap in the
Well,
face,
I
but it'd be a very Disney thing.
Well, I wonder if they knew about it enough that there was some contingency set about, like, did they film a scene where he can, like, hand over the mantle or pass the torch or whatever? Something like that? Did they already do that and it's just stored back there? Because they're like, oh, we see how you guys fucked up on Star Wars. We're not gonna make mistakes like that.
No, no. And it's funny you should mention that because I actually have an article, two of them that connect to each other. You saw them in the chat. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the connection because you're all about connected universes and we got connected articles tonight. Yeah, and you can
Oh
see
God.
where one star gets a big boost and the other one gets fucked over. And I'm gonna let the people in the comments decide how they feel about this. And I'm gonna give you my opinion because I think this whole thing is fucked up. Like Disney in general is becoming a very fucked up company. like, look, I'm not on the train. We've talked about this before. I'm not on the train of fuck Disney before they come out with something, but these days they're making some very poor choices. Like they're making some poor choices. What up, Stone Cold Jeremy? Good to see you. Timon Flip said
What's up,
recast.
Stone Cold Jeremy?
He said recast Black Panther is not a holy character. Yeah, I can understand recasting him, but I don't think they should go with the gender swapping route right now. They should wait on that because they are going to piss off a lot of people if they gender swap that character. They will piss off a lot of people. That would be the biggest slap in the face to Chadwick Boseman's memory if they did something like that. And I don't think Marvel's that stupid. Uh, Kevin doesn't strike me as
Yeah, but I
that
thought you said that. Oh, choking on, Disney talking.
No, no. I mean, they're doing some pretty questionable things on Star Wars, but Marvel doesn't seem to be suffering from that. So,
That's
let's
what I'm
jump into
telling
a
you. Disney's so big and it's so expansive that everybody, you can make good decisions over here, bad decisions over there. And, Bob isn't making decisions directly, although, we hear it all the time in Star Wars that, oh, Bob wanted this. Sure, he did.
So let's talk about everybody's favorite person in the world. I know you've been waiting for this article. We're to switch gears to kind of hilarity. So let's talk about Kelly Marie Tran. you know, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
qualify. I'm just gonna qualify this, okay? No matter if you like roast equal or not, I felt personally she got shafted because of the shitty writing they did for that character. Like, I don't blame her for a writer, Ryan, the douchebag Johnson, writing her character so terribly that people just
Wait,
happen
wait.
to hate her.
I thought that you liked Knives Out.
You son of a bitch. You know I don't like Knives Out. God damn it. Anyways, no, I don't. Perp does. I think Perp likes
Oh,
Ryan
Perp
Johnson.
likes it.
Yeah.
Oh, he
No,
loves Ryan Johnson.
I don't get it. But anyways, so Kelly Marie Tran was cast in the lead of Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. Did you see anything on this?
Ooh, chasing a dragon.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Is it
No.
like it's like an animated film, it's an original coming out? Um, I'm gonna say, if you guys don't know,
Cool.
I'm biased to the Japanese culture and the Asian lore. And so I'm gonna go and see this because I love the Asian culture. I love anything. That's why I was pulling for Mulan until they decided to charge $20. I'll never fucking watch it. I've got a subscription. Fuck you. I'm not paying an extra $20 to watch a remake, Disney. You can go fuck yourself. That was the biggest douchebag move ever. But anyways, so uh Aquafina will star alongside Tran as Susu, a dragon in human form who needs Ray's help to reclaim her power. I'm sorry, Raya. That's kind of the same name. It's a little weird there, a little bit of a Star Wars thing going on. Anyways, to help reclaim her power to become a true dragon herself. I already like that premise. There's dragons. Hopefully, they don't do what Game of Thrones did. Anyways, the Vietnamese actress Kelly Marie Tran is set to star in the new Disney animated film Raya and the Last Dragon, an original. Let me just stop, folks, just so you know, an original fantasy film that is heavily influenced by Southeast Asian lore and cultures. Uh, Disney also gave a first look in the movie about a computer generated Rhea and her trusted steed, Tuk Tuk, whom the creators describe as a fuzzy bear meets an insect version of an armadillo. I'm sold on that. I don't know what the fuck that I don't know what I'm picturing in my mind, but I think that sounds cool. Anyways, Tran takes over the role from Canadian actress Cassie Steele. The film is directed by Don Hall and Carlos Lopez Estrada, with playwright from Q Nigan and Adele Lim on board to lead a Walt Disney Animation Studios movie. The creators and the studio wanted to accurately portray Southeast Asian cultures they are picking up from, including countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and the Philippines. A Disney animation rep said it formed a group called Raya Southeast Asian Story Trust. Similar to the Oceanic Story Trust. Okay, that's just a code name, I guess. Fucking Disney and their names. That was formed for Moana, which if you guys don't know, I fucking love Moana. I'm biased to anything with The Rock in it, and you're welcome. Which includes anthropologists, linguists, dancers, and gamelan musicians from Indonesia, among others. Production designs and other creatives also went to Southeast Asian region to get the looks and designs. Tran is best known for her role as Rose Tico. I'm sorry.
In the greatest film of all time.
Why would you lead with that? Has she made nothing else? Okay, I'm sorry, folks, but they said she's best known for her role as Rose Tico in Star Wars The Last Jedi and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, where you didn't see her at all. Since the release
Oh,
of
she
The
was in
Last
the
Jedi,
Rise of Skywalker. Oh yeah, that there was that one scene where she was like, "Be optimistic, asshole."
and then she fucked off. Um, Since
Yep.
the release of The Last Jedi, she has been the subject of massive trolling and many racist insults on social media. So she deleted her Instagram profile June 2018 following constant criticism and comments over her race. No, it was constant criticism and comments over a shitty movie, okay? I hate when these people write these because it's NBC and they're like, oh my God, she was bullied because of her race. No,
Dun
she
dun
was
dun.
criticized because Rose Tico was the worst fucking character in Star Wars history. In Star Wars history, out of it, people like, okay, let me give you context, folks. People like fucking Jar Jar Binks more now than Rose Tico. You remember Jar Jar? Everybody hated
Hey
Jar
man,
Jar.
Misa loved Jar Jar Binks.
Like everybody said, and I quote, Jar Jar Binks is the most terrible character in Star Wars history. And then Rose Tico came out and they go, well, Jar Jar isn't that bad now that I really think about it. It's like but look, um you know, I'm gonna say I'm kind
No,
of
I think
intrigued.
I would say that the worst character is Admiral Bitchface.
Oh yeah, 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 I agree. But I mean, oh, Timon Flip's got a comment for you. Go ahead and read that.
Oh, let me flip my screen right side up. Apparently, it's upside down. Timon Flip says, PB, they went out of their way to uglify her in Star Wars. At least that's what the SW is supposed to mean. He's talking about Kelly Marie Tran. And I responded back to him and I said, I had no clue that they had uglified her for Star Wars because, like you said earlier, she ain't done anything else. So I hadn't seen her in anything else. And then you see her on the red carpet and you're like, who's that chick? Where is she in the movie? And you're like, that's Rose Tico. And you're like, no, 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 no. I seen Rose Tico. That ain't Rose Tico. Where's that chick in the movie? You're like, no, that's the chick that they cinched at the waist when potato sack there. I was like, wait a second. You serious? No.
Like
And
like
they were serious.
this is that double-edged sword with Hollywood wanting to not objectify women. We get roast Tico in a potato sack. So next time people bitch about how we're objectifying women, just look at Rose Tico. Kelly Marie Tran,
Dude,
any other time, looks hot. I'm just gonna say she looks
you're
hot.
gonna
I
objectify the women whether they're attractive or not attractive. It doesn't matter.
I had my girl laughing earlier, right? So we were talking about Brie Larson. You get everybody knows my feelings on her. I go, and you know what pisses me off more?
Yeah, I
She'd
bet
be
you want to
hot.
feel on her.
She'd be hot if she never said anything, right? If she just wore that dress she had
Oh,
on Jimmy Kimmel and didn't say a word, she'd be fine. But then she
didn't say a
opens her
word.
mouth and you're like, oh, that's right. You're still a
Whoa,
bitch.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. You can't say it like that because I have a feeling that if all she did was open her mouth, you'd be okay with that. The problem is she speaks.
Yes, yes, I do agree. Once she starts talking, it's all over. So, okay, so I want to put this in perspective. Kelly Marie Tran is getting a movie for Disney, right? And she had Rose Tico as her role. Now, let's flip the script for everyone who's wondering what happened to the
Oh.
star, right? The star of Star Wars,
Ooh,
the beacon of
more
hope.
Star Wars.
Yep, the person who played the pivotal role. Let me read you an article, and this is how fucked up Disney is, right? Okay, Daisy Ridley. Star Wars Daisy Ridley struggled to find work after Rise of Skywalker. Folks, just think about that. Kelly Marie Tran, who had arguably one of the most terrible roles in film, brand new to the scene, she gets a upcoming featured animated film by Disney, who probably felt guilty for all the backlash on The Force Awakens, or not Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, right? And the star,
The Last Jedi.
their star, the person who led the ship, Daisy Ridley, has a hard time finding work after her lead role. So I'm going to read this and put it in perspective.
Dude,
This is
dude,
fucked up.
dude. She's white.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get to that because I'm going to ask the chat and kind of get your opinion after we read this. And you tell me what you think about this. So, Daisy Ridley has opened up about her struggles finding new acting roles in the initial months after Star Wars Rise of Skywalker release. Despite playing the lead role of Rey in three of the biggest movies, arguably, in recent years, Daisy Ridley struggled to find work immediately after The Rise of Skywalker. This is from Entertainment Weekly, her statement. But weirdly, at the beginning of the year, nothing was coming through, Ridley said to Entertainment Weekly. She went on to explain there were actually loads of things that I auditioned for at the beginning of the year, and I didn't get any of them, she added. I had a moment of, oh my God. And I thought, everything in its right time, according to Ridley. Things started picking up for her job opportunities by March. So, hold on a second. I'm bringing up the article. But yeah, so she she stars in The
Oh my
Rise of
God, you're trying to vamp for yourself? This is terrible.
She stars in The Rise of Skywalker, right? Lead role. And then afterwards, she can't
Who, Kelly
get
Marie Tran?
no Daisy Ridley. After she
Ah,
can't get
with an A, Daisy Ridley. Yes.
so prior to playing Rey in Star Wars sequel trilogy, Ridley scored her earliest acting credits in the short film like Blue Season, as well as TV shows Mr. Selfridge. I don't know what that is. In the wake of her work on Star Wars, really appeared in somewhat larger productions, such as Murder in the Orient Express and Orphelia, while also providing voice work for Peter Rabbit and the English language dub of Only Yesterday. Her upcoming acting credits include film Chaos Walking and the video game 12 Minutes. Directed and co-written by J.J. Abrams, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and it lists all the names, is on 4K Blu-ray. No one gives a shit. So, I mean, this is crazy. How does Disney offer Kelly Marie Tran an upcoming role in one of their new films, but the person who starred in their sequel trilogy can't find a job? How does that happen? Like, this is supposed to be a progressive company. This is supposed to be a company that's about whamming. They, they're all about making sure that the man doesn't hold the women down. And the, the, she can't find a job after that. And folks, let me put it in perspective. Daisy Ridley had a lot more screen time than Kelly Marie Tran did. And yet Kelly Marie Tran is getting a featured length film. And Daisy, they're like, okay, you can fuck off and go about your business. It's really shocking. What do you think, PB?
I suppose that it's easier to get good press from Kelly Marie Tran than it is to get good press from Daisy Ridley. So if both of them were up for the same role, I would probably cast Kelly Marie Tran. Be like,
Now,
oh, look, I have a minority. That's what people are like nowadays. Some people care
uh,
about that shit. I don't know why.
Now, Timon Flip said two things. One, she must be asking for too much money. I don't agree with that statement. I don't think that she is. And two, she can't act that good. I disagree. I think we haven't seen her act because look at the script she was given. I don't think she did a bad job. I think the main problem that I heard from people was not how she acted, but the character and how it was written. I don't think she acted poorly in Star Wars. I'm sorry. People can disagree with me. That's fine. I don't think her acting was the problem in that film. I think it was the way that the character was written. What do you think? I didn't have a problem with her acting. I thought she did fine for what she was given.
Which you talking about Kelly Marie Tran?
No, Daisy Ridley.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that she was the issue with the movie at all. That's for sure. Like, she definitely wasn't the best actor in the movie, but she definitely isn't the fucking worst. She's
No,
in the upper half, not the lower half.
I mean, okay, people, let's put it in
I'll take
perspective.
her over I'll take her over John Boyega, even though he's more fun on Twitter right now.
Let's just put this in perspective. When you think of the movie, right, the worst lines came from Kelly Marie Tran, and how she delivered them was cringy. And like, just she could have taken a terrible line and made it kind of funny or whatever else, but I don't see what the big appeal in her acting style was because I personally didn't think she brought nothing. Now, with Daisy, on the other hand, there were moments in the movie that she was actually good, where she hit the emotion she needed to hit. She had the look she needed to have. I didn't get a feeling that she wasn't trying or she wasn't doing a good job. Her character was just written fucking bad. It was a bad, poorly written character. And I don't care if you put the best actress in the world in a role, if you don't have good writing or the character sucks, the actor or actress can only do so much. I mean, she wasn't given Oscar worthy script writing. It was, it was all right at best. And then when you have a character that's like overpowered and shit like that, people are going to be like not looking at her acting. They're going to be like, oh, she's healing things for no fucking apparent reason. And there was no even lead into it. Thomas Connolly said, Daisy, seen her in things before, thought meh. I mean, I haven't seen her other work, so I have nothing really to judge off of her body of work. That shit that they brought up, uh, I saw Peter Rabbit. I love that movie. People, if you don't know, I own a rabbit and I love everything with rabbits in it. So I'm biased to that. Uh, so I mean, if she did the voice work there, I thought that was a pretty fun movie. I mean, but I don't have much to judge off of her physical acting, like seeing her on screen. I'm not going by a lot. I only have Star Wars to go by. And from what I've seen, her character was just terribly written. I mean, J.J. Abrams did basically a cut and paste for the first one. And we all know what Ryan Johnson did for the second one. And the third one was damage control. So there was no way to really see what her range was. She actually probably stayed, as far as acting wise, consistent with her character, whereas like Poe or John Boyega, their acting went all over the place because every character was fucked up in that. They had no direction in those films, but that's just
Oh no, they definitely had directors for those films. Don't let yourself be fooled. They definitely had directors and motherfuckers.
Jamie Vick had an interesting statement here. You want to read that?
What was that?
Did you want to read the comment from Jamie Vick?
You need me to read this comment? Is that what you're trying to
Yep.
say? Because my internet's working like shit, so I assume that's what you wanted me to do. Jamie Vick says they're great at lip service and bad at follow through. I don't know which they're talking about. I assume she means both women, or does she mean the studio heads?
I think that could work in any of those contexts. And then Timon Flip says, at General Zod's Phantom Zone, Daisy lead in Star Wars trilogy pay $3 signs. Kelly, small secondary role in two Star Wars movie, pay $1 sign. Uh, but let's be real. The lead should get more money. I'm just saying, unless you have like a movie with Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio and big actors who are all well known. Let's be real. Most of the people in that movie, no one knew about. Maybe Adam Driver, but I saw him in more stuff after that. Other than that, I had no clue who that fucking cast was before the movie. So I mean, pay scale wise, your lead should make more money. They're featured more in the film. I mean, I'd say that's a pretty accurate comparison.
Was
What do
that a
you think?
question?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
shit. God. What was the question?
oh,
My internet keeps cutting out. I don't know if it's on your end or my end. Pretty sure it's my end.
um, oh, Timon Flip recommented. He said at General Zod's Phantom Zone, I mean after Star Wars. So he said that after Star Wars, uh, that Daisy saw more money in Kelly's small secondary role. I assume she saw less. But I mean, Daisy's the lead. So that seems like a pretty I mean, I'd expect Daisy and Adam Driver and Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and all of them to make more money than anybody else on the cast. those are the big people highlighted in that film. I mean, what do you think?
Oh God, I feel like I got half the question this time. The big people highlighted in the film, white, black, brown, all the boxes were checked. One was a chick, and it was the white one. You're talking about Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I was saying, dollar wise, doesn't it make more sense you would pay your lead more money than your
Shit.
secondary characters? I just
Oh,
let you have
yeah, you got to pay the lead more than secondary character. Like, I don't even care if you're Captain Marvel. You're not getting as much as Thor, you bitch.
that. So, after Star Wars, sure, maybe really made more money, but Kelly's going to make more money in the long term. She's getting roles. Daisy apparently is not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the end, it's still going to balance itself out because then it's going to be like who's working and who's not working, you know? Uh, and I mean, it says, Timon says, at General Zod's Phantom Zone, Daisy can ask for more money than Kelly for her next work. That's an interesting point. Yep, she can play the lead role. Granted, there's a lot of
I
controversy around
mean,
those movies.
just because you played the lead role doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to make as much money in your next movie. Because I don't see her getting paid as much money for whatever movie she makes next as she did for The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Awakens.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see her getting that much either.
Because
She ain't
I
gonna be
assume
getting that
that she
Disney check.
had, unless she wasn't smart enough, she had to have had some type of deal to have the percentage after the box office. I mean, you're the lead character. Don't be a dumbass. You got to get a contract like Iron Man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Downey doesn't even have to probably fucking act anymore.
Fuck no.
So speaking of acting, uh, so PB, I had you watch something earlier. I had
Oh
you
my
watch something.
God. Oh
Oh,
my God.
we gotta fucking talk about this, folks. This is the shit that makes me want to cancel Netflix. I okay, I'm gonna give you guys
Why?
context. I love, I am a huge fan. I love Sherlock Holmes. And why I love Benedict Cumberbatch is because, and I don't care who argues
Oh,
this with me, he plays the best Sherlock Holmes I've ever seen, even over Robert Downey Jr. Sorry, I love you, Robert, but he was more
dude,
accurate
you're
to the
ruining
character.
this.
Okay, so he was more accurate to the Sherlock Holmes character. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, Sherlock Holmes is one of my favorite novelizations ever. I love the Sherlock stories. I like his intellect and how he figures shit out and just the way the character is built. Well, Netflix decided it wasn't good enough to just have Sherlock Holmes. No, in this brave new diverse world, in this brave new world where we have to have women taking the charge on everything, oh my God, we have uh Enola Holmes. And now, if you guys don't know what this is, fuck me. If you guys don't know what this is, apparently every fucking Sherlock Holmes novel I've ever read, every bit of information I can get on this character, somewhere it was left out because he's a woman hating white male. He had a sister we never knew about called Enola. And she's going to show Sherlock how to be a great fucking detective. So let me talk to you about this and read this article, and then BB, I'm gonna you
Oh,
you saw the trailer. We're gonna talk about this trailer. This when we talk about how people prejudge stuff, this trailer is so fucking. This is exactly like so SJW. It's. I'm just gonna. I can't believe.
I
I can't
told you.
believe.
I told. Hold on. I'm not talking to you. I was talking to my wife because I told her that the people on the internet were gonna freak out about this Enola Holmes because Holmes ain't supposed to be that way. Here's one of them.
Yes. So okay, I want to
That's
clarify
you,
something.
Zod.
I want to clarify something though. They're not gender swapping Sherlock Holmes. So that's not the issue. The issue is that they're playing it that Sherlock Holmes has a sibling, a sister, or yeah, was it his sister? It's supposed to be his sister. And she's going to be portrayed by
Yeah.
Bobby Brown, who I gotta say, I do like her acting work in Stranger Things. I don't have a problem with her. I like the show Stranger
How the
Things.
fuck? Hold on. I gotta. Now I have. Because you couldn't do Millie Bobby Brown right. How in the fuck did you say Benedict Cumberbatch right? But you've gotten every single other name wrong. Every
Uh,
single other name has been wrong tonight. But you got Benedict Cumberbatch spot fucking on.
I told you I like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's like one of my favorite actors. I, that's Doctor Strange. I can't be fucking that up. Anyways, Netflix has released a new trailer for the upcoming action comedy movie Enola Holmes. Millie Bobby Brown of Stranger Things fame plays the title role. Yep, I was right. As the younger sister of super sleuth Sherlock Holmes in the movie, which is to be released September 23rd. Henry Cavill, which I'm going to say that's pretty awesome casting. Henry Cavill plays Sherlock, although the character only appears in a supporting role. The trailer released on Tuesday features Enola speaking into the camera about the disappearance of her beloved mother, which I don't know how this relates and why isn't Sherlock looking for the mother too? I gotta see the movie. But anyways, and her search to find her while running away from her brothers Sherlock and Mycroft. While searching for her missing mother, the intrepid teen Enola Holmes, using her sleuthing skills to outsmart. This just gets worse.
Enola?
Yeah.
I agree. It just gets worse. If by worse you mean better, everybody who's listening gotta be laughing their asses off too if I'm laughing. Holy fuck.
Anyways, using her sleuthing skills to outsmart her big brother Sherlock and help a runaway lord leads the Netflix summary of the movie, which also stars Helena Bonham Carter as oh fuck, I don't even know who that is. I'm not gonna pronounce that. God damn it. Uh, it's another Holmes. In June, the estate of Sherlock Holmes, our author, uh, Con, uh, author, author. So they put author and Arthur in the same sentence. So that's why I'm tripping over
Yeah, you and
this because they
ours
put them
don't get along.
yeah. They put them together, and now I'm fucked up because one has an R and one has a U, and I'm trying. You know what? Never mind. Anyways, the author of the book sued the estate of the book, because Arthur Conan Doyle, wow, sued Netflix among others over the film, arguing that it shows the depiction of Sherlock Holmes as a kind, caring, and respectful of women is a violation of the author's copyright. The film is based on a series of novels by Nancy Springer, who created the character, but Conan uh, Conan Doyle's estate argued that Sherlock was only ever kind and emotional in the books that are still under the author's copyright. In early works, now public domain, he's aloof and lacks empathy, and they're critical aspects of the character and must be respected in an adaptation, the estate claims. The estate filed a case against Netflix, the US based producers, and the publishers of the new books, and others in the U.S. District Court of New Mexico. CNN contacted Netflix and Springer, who had no comment about this. Doyle died in 1930 after publishing dozens of stories about the legendary detective. Since his death, Sherlock Holmes has formed the basis of numerous films, TV series, including the popular BBC version Sherlock, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch. So yeah,
The
uh,
Cumber bitch.
yes, Thomas. Sherlock was a drug addict. They took the character. There's several things wrong with this. There's several things wrong with this trailer. PB, I want to start.
Wait, wait, wait. You're done with the article?
Yeah,
Okay, and you think that there's several things wrong with this trailer?
yes.
Okay, well then I guess you go first and you tell me all of the things that are wrong with this trailer, and then I'll tell you why it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Sherlock, and look, I realize this is one based on an entirely different book series. Two, this is a comedic kind of take on the characters, but they have Sherlock Holmes, who, as the article stated, the character that's being portrayed for us is nothing like the character of the books or any adaptation that we've had, even Robert Downey Jr.'s version of the character Sherlock Holmes. Two,
Okay?
the way the trailer plays out, I'm not saying that
Uh-huh.
necessarily they're going for a feminist angle, but it seems like they're going for a pretty feminist angle in this trailer.
Oh no, they are.
When there's like, I'm going to do the one thing that they don't suspect. I'm going to act like a lady. And they show her shooting bow and doing all of this stuff. And like, she's supposed to be this great detective. And like, how old is she in this? How
Whooping
old
that
is
black
she?
bitch's ass.
Yeah, she flips this lady over her who's clearly way bigger. And okay, let's talk about Millie Bobby Brown for a second doing these action things. Okay, I can buy someone, God help me, even Ruby Rose doing like Batwoman. I can buy some of that stuff in there, okay, because I've seen her in other roles being a badass. But I can't buy Brown going from Stranger Things, a psychic who throws people around with her mind, flipping this big lady over her shoulder onto the ground. And like she's supposed to be as smart, or they're implying in this trailer she's as smart or smarter than Sherlock Holmes. Bullshit. This man solved the Hounds of Baskerville. He went to war with one of the greatest villains in literary history. And you're going to tell me this person I've never heard of is going to figure out a mystery. And now here's the other problem. Why isn't Sherlock, if this is his sister, why does it not appear that he's not looking for the mother in this movie? Does he not give a shit? I don't understand. Like, that trailer is, to me, has the most terrible selling point on this character. Like, I just don't
I
buy it. I call
assume that
bullshit.
he's not looking for her because he thinks that she's dead and the daughter is some wacky dacky conspiracy theorist.
Okay, so that's my take on it. So what did
Okay.
you think?
Okay, so those are all of your points on how this trailer is terrible and they're gonna ruin Sherlock Holmes and yada yada yada. Feminism, yeah. All that terrible bullshit, right? Right?
Yes.
And here's why none of that matters. They made Superman Sherlock fucking Holmes. Are you fucking kidding me? I made it 20 some seconds into the trailer and I seen him turn around. I was like, wait a sec, who's that? And then they zoom in on his face. I was like, son of a fucking bitch. Now we can finally have a real fucking debate. Who is the better Sherlock Holmes? Iron Man or Superman? Forget about the Cumber bitch. He's a second tier fucking hero. Nobody cares about Doctor Strange in this conversation between Superman and Iron Man. Who's the better Sherlock Holmes? I don't care about anything else that happens in this movie. I just want to see Superman as Sherlock Holmes because I got to see Iron Man as Sherlock Holmes. Like, what more do you want, guy?
I want a good movie.
How do you think you're not going to get a good movie when you got Superman as Sherlock Holmes? Did you not get a good movie when Iron Man was Sherlock Holmes?
Honestly, I'm not really a big fan of the Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes.
Get the
They
fuck
were all
out of
right.
here.
I didn't really like it. I didn't like the approach. I
Oh,
didn't
so
like the
so if
director.
you didn't really like it, they're probably like what, a 8.5? If Black
No,
Panther is
actually,
trash at
I
a
rate them.
7,
I rate them. I'd rate them about maybe a 5.9.
okay. I don't
I,
understand how this scale works.
no, I can't. I don't like. I didn't like his portrayal of Sherlock. I just that was one of the times where I was really a big fan of it. I am a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes, and you know what? Actually, Benedict Cumberbatch does the most accurate to what the character of Sherlock Holmes is. And we're not talking about you have to read the source material. This isn't a thing. I'm talking about what the character of Sherlock Holmes should be like. He is brilliant, but he's also a loner and possibly a drug addict, which in the show they portray those things. And Benedict Cumberbatch does a great
Sounds like
job.
you're describing a movie. So I don't understand what problem you have with Iron Man.
I don't have a problem with Iron Man or Downey Jr. I
Like
just have a problem
urban
with his portrayal in that
camouflage,
movie.
for the love of God. And now you have a problem with Superman. I think you just have a problem with your comic book heroes that you love. Like, you don't care about Doctor Strange. You take him or leave him. So you're like, yeah, he can be Sherlock Holmes because I don't really need him over there, but he's good over here. So I'll use him over here. So fuck him over there. But I need Henry Cavill to be Superman. And I need Robert Downey Jr. to be Iron Man. I can't have them be a different character. That's ridiculous.
No, that's not it at all because I like Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder
Okay.
or the
So
Zodiac or what was the other movie way back in the day that he did about the kids who were drug addicts. I don't know, but Downey Jr. is a great actor. I'm just saying in that particular role and didn't do nothing for me. But I mean, no, but this is different. Okay, look, I don't mind Henry Cavill being in the movie is not my issue. That wasn't one of the things I listed, PD. I think Henry Cavill would be a fine
I
Sherlock
didn't say
Holmes.
it was one of the things you listed. I said
The
I
way
was
you
going to
just said
make a
it,
point. I said I was going to make a point that made your points irrelevant.
we
I
don't even know
succeeded.
how long Henry Cavill's in the movie. He ain't even in the trailer for
If
that
he's
long to
in
get
the
flashed.
movie for 10 more seconds than I saw in the trailer, success.
I can't even dignify that.
No, that's
Response.
because it was obviously said to work you up. No, he's got to have not a majority screen time, like not a Daisy Ridley amount, but he's got to have more than a Kelly Marie Tran amount.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the my problem with no, Jamie Vick, Jude Law was he was a pretty decent Watson, but I wouldn't take him over Lord of the Rings. But anyways, because that's who plays Watson in the BBC version. But anyways, and if you guys haven't seen it, check out Sherlock. That's a great show. But anyways, um, no, I mean Cavill, yeah,
No, I
yeah,
find
I saw what
I'm
Lemon
sorry,
Pie
I got to
put.
make this point because I can't remember his name either. Maybe you will. Everybody says Iron Man, Jude Law, Iron Man, Law. Nobody says what his character name was in Captain Marvel. Nobody fucking remembers.
Zagrog or something. It was
Fuck, yeah, it's some Von Rog or something.
yeah, Von Rog. That was it. Oh God. I said to myself, why the fuck did Jude Law even take this role? Like, why? Why? He was the most anticlimactic villain I've ever seen. It's like, oh, at least they're leading the big fight. They're leading the big fight. She fucking punches him back into his ship. End of movie. So fucking stupid. So like Jude
I'm
Law
telling you,
deserved better
man.
than that. Jude
I
Law.
feel
This
like
was.
ugh,
I
I don't want to
I
get
mean,
distracted on fucking Captain Marvel guy. It was just a fucking joke.
but anyways, Lemon Pie does make a good point. He said Zod doesn't like Cavill because Superman he killed Zod. No, I like Henry Cavill. He's an excellent Superman. That isn't my issue. I have no problems with Henry Cavill being in this movie. I think he'd make a great Sherlock Holmes. My problem is the story they're setting up for this movie is ridiculous. This
I got everybody in here arguing against you, man. Like, you be hating on this movie. It's got Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes. And you're like, I can't watch this movie. It's terrible.
the
It's got
I'm gonna watch
too
it.
much feminism.
I'm going to watch it just so I know I could be proven right because this movie, just from that trailer, I it's obvious where it's going.
No, it
At least,
is blatantly obvious where it is going. But the funny thing is that whoever made it at Netflix thinks that they're being subversive and that they're not actually doing the gender swap and they're not doing the full wokeness and the full third wave feminism because Sherlock is in the movie. They're like, no, it's not that. It's just, a side story. Like, Sherlock is still here. See? Look at him. You see him? He looks like fucking Superman.
and here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. How you worded that debate, which by the way, kudos. I don't admit it often, PB, even when you do beat me, but you did beat me there. I have nothing when you brought up the Superman thing. So that's a great debate. But that's how most people are going to look at it. They're going to see the trailer like I did, and they're going to miss the key part. Millie Bobby Brown's not Sherlock Holmes. She's his sister. So that's a clever little thing that they're trying to sneak in there. My problem is We still know where the story is going to go. I'm willing to lay down money that Henry Cavill's going to appear here and there, but he's not going to be the main plot. Sherlock Holmes is not the
No,
main
no,
point of
he
the story.
is. No, he's not. From what I gathered, he's gonna show up sometime in like towards the end of the first act. He's going to be gone towards the beginning of the second act, and then he won't show up again until towards the end of the movie because it seems like they're going to show her, unless those are flashback scenes, and then he'll be in the first act and then only show up at the end of the movie if they're flashbacks, because it's going to show her growing up a little bit with her mom, and then the mom disappears, and then apparently the brothers show up and raise her for a portion of time. So he's got to be intertwined with the main part of the story there. But then she goes off on her journey to find her mother because she's a wacky dacky third wave feminist conspiracy theorist.
And here's
Say
the
that
thing that
5 times fast.
and here's the thing that pisses me off is Millie Bobby Brown isn't a bad actress. She's really good. She's really good. I really do like her in Stranger Things. She does a really great job in that show, and she's got a lot of potential, and I think she's going to be a great actress, but it's roles like these that make people dislike actresses. Like, you know, it's clear what the director wants to do with this. I mean, he's super low key.
Do you see what Timon said? Put that up on the screen. That's pretty funny. I like that one. That's a good one. That is
With
the
Barry.
wrong comment. There
Oh, this
you
one.
go. Timon, Flip said, I will skip this mess. It's like a Superman movie that is about Jimmy Olsen
Timon,
with
you
barely any Superman in it.
Timon, that was awesome. Great comment. Yeah. You know, this is like to
You
me.
wrecked me, Timon. You wrecked me.
This to me is like the biggest, and I agree with them suing them because this is the biggest deviation, and we're not talking about source material. They're not adapting and changing a Sherlock Holmes story. This has nothing to do with source material. They are fundamentally changing the character of Sherlock Holmes and what he is. And when you change the character, that's the problem we have in fandom. That's the exact problem. And it's not even their gender swapping. Take that out of it. That has nothing. They're changing the character of Sherlock Holmes to make him this kind, fun, lovable. That's not Sherlock Holmes. He's a dick. That's part of why I like. He's a loner. He doesn't. The only person he likes and the only person who understands him is Watson. That's it. That's even in the Downey Jr. version. Him and Watson are the only people that connect, and that's because Watson was in the war and kind of seen fucked up shit. So they connect on
Oh, I thought
humanity
you
is
were
fucked
going to
up.
say because they were gay.
I mean, there's kind of an implication in that. That weirded me out too. Okay, let's just deviate a little bit and talk about that. In that Downey Jr. movie, I had this strange, dirty feeling when I watched them interacting.
What?
I felt like that was a little bit more than a
Jesus
bromance going
Christ.
on. I'm sorry, okay? Everybody in the chat, don't tell me you weren't picking up on those vibes. Like, Sherlock was a
Nah.
little bit too close. I know they had their love interests, but I'm just saying that was like Lord of the Rings kind of creepy friendship, like with Samwise and
Wait,
not
you
Frodo.
you
What the
telling me
fuck?
those two freaking hobbits are gay?
I'm not saying that they're gay, but I'm not saying they're not. That was a friendship beyond. And I've had this argument. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, and I've had this argument with people where they're like, they're just good friends that have gone through a lot. I'm sorry, I've never had my friend over jump on my bed in my bedroom talking about we had such a great adventure, and I know he has a bunch of kids around him or whatever. That's still a fucking creepy scene. I'm sorry. Like, Samwise and Frodo had a bit more than a friendly, we've been on a long journey thing going on. I got a very like beyond friendly kind of vibe. I don't know. It was fucking weird. It was weird. I mean, I respect the hell out of Peter Jackson. I love those films to death, but there was there's something we didn't get in that director's cut. I'm just saying. like, that was that was that was that was some kind of Thomas Connolly said they had their they had their ring destroyed. uh Timon Flipfoot. Can you read that? That's hilarious. Did you read that comment?
Oh, yeah, now that I heard you. Timon says, PB, Sam is not, but Frodo is a diva. Okay. Like that means he wants a cross dress or what?
I'm sorry. There is there is like I don't know, like that was like I know he was trying to convey a long journey and them going through this experience and becoming better friends, because they were childhood friends, but that was that was not like any friendship. I mean, I have friends from high school, and I'm just saying they would not go in my bedroom and start jumping on my bed. That's just a fucking weird scene. I don't know what he was trying to imply with their friendship, but I felt like it was about more than just a ring. You know, I'm just saying, food for thought, people. I've had this debate, and I'm telling you that their
Okay.
friendship is not kosher. That's
I
that's
got
about
one more point about Sherlock Holmes before we move on, because you ain't got anything more to rip on this trailer about, do ya?
No, no, I made my point. They changed the Sherlock character. I'm pissed off about that, but continue.
The real reason I was excited is because, now a guy can dream that somebody at some point in the future will finance some type of Twilight Zone episode or something along those lines, where there's a multiverse of Sherlock Holmes and the two teams, only the two teams come together, and Iron Man and Superman have to solve the mystery together. What a dream team.
You know, fuck. That's actually a good point. I
That's what I
want
said.
that.
I don't. You made me watch this trailer, and I seen how it started before we even got to the Superman part. I was like, "Oh fuck, man! They turned Sherlock Holmes into a woman," and then I seen that they introduced Sherlock Holmes. I was like, "Oh, okay, it's a sister." Then I seen who it was. I was like, "Oh fuck!" And everything, all of the ideas that erupted in my mind at once were amazing. You have no idea.
Jamie Vick says, did you want to read this?
Zod, you definitely lost your mind. And your comments say more about you than about those two characters. True.
Look, I'm not jumping to conclusions. We've all seen Lord of the Rings. Come on, like that's a weird relationship there. Like, I'm not the only one who's made this speculation. I mean, it's
Dude,
been out there.
I'm not. I don't watch Lord of the Rings, so I'm not a ring theorist. A ring theorist? Are there names for these people? I don't fucking know. Anyway, who the hell's talking about gay hobbits? Sounds like you're the only one talking about gay hobbits. For a second there, I thought you were talking about Holmes and Watson again.
No. I'm just saying, I've had this the best movie that put this in perspective. And people, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Clerks 2. When they have that fucking argument about the Lord of the Rings, and he says at the ending, what he says, I never thought I never thought about the movie in this context, but when he makes that joke about them just doing walking in the movie, and then he does like his impression of the Lord of the Rings. It's fucking hilarious. But I was just like, I thought about it. I'm like, they're not wrong. I mean, he was like, even the fucking trees walked in the movie.
Yep.
like, I mean, it was funny. But when he said, when he says at the end of this whole thing, because he gets into a debate about which is better, Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy, or Lord of the Rings, and he goes, and he talks about, and yeah, Frodo looked at Wise Goungy with those blow me eyes. I was fucking dying because I was like, I've always said it was a weird relationship, but when they say it in Clerks too, because Clerks makes fun of the some of the pop culture stuff, and it was just hilarious. And he makes that
Some?
argument.
Yeah, some. They make some fun of some of it.
Yeah, it was hilarious because it's just been a thing. I don't know why people from Star Wars and people from Lord of the Rings debate on which trilogy is better, because I think they're both great, but whatever. And I'm talking about the original trilogy. We're not counting the sequels. Those never happened. But anyways, um yeah, so let me read this from Generation Productions. He said, at General Zod's Phantom Zone at Pop Culture PB. You deliver these jokes better. Go ahead, BB. You read this.
I know I deliver them way better because for some unknown reason you feel compelled to read our names. Like, read the comment in your mind for a second and be like, okay, do I need to add the name? Like how I added your name to Jamie Vick's comment earlier, because it makes sense. If I just say you, we don't know who she's talking about. Granted, you're the only person here, but that's not the point. I'll get to the question. What is the name of a guy who works at a laundromat? Answer: Iron Man. LOL jokes.
That was a good one. Nice play on the Marvel Cinematic Universe there. I love it. But yeah, so let's move on to everybody's favorite topic. I know that Lemon Pie is waiting for the Bezo Amazon thing, and we're gonna get to that. I'm saving that guy for last. What a
Bezos.
character! Yeah, we're gonna get to him, but first, let's talk about our favorite person, our favorite representative of the Disney brand. Let's talk about Bobby. I got an article about Mr. Bob Iger here, who
Good old
vehemently,
Bobby I.
good old Bobby I, vehemently disagrees with the CDC update.
Okay.
Bob Iger, the fucking owner of Disney, who has no experiences with viruses, vehemently disagrees with the CDC update. Just let that sink, just let that sink in for a second.
Like, update of
What?
what? His
What
park?
update? If this was about a park, I would take his fucking opinion. But So Walt Disney Company exec chairman Bob Iger has blasted the CDC on social media following a recent COVID-19 update. Iger, who serves as the CDO of the Walt Disney Company, earlier wrote, "This is horrifyingly disappointing." Uh, and this is from ABC News. After weeks of encouraging people to get tested if they think they've been exposed to COVID, the CDC abruptly changed course and said testing might not be necessary. So, after hearing this, Bobby Iger went to Twitter and said he is horrifyingly disappointed in the CDC. Bob, the man who ran Star Wars into the ground, the man the man who let another Bob get fucked over. This is the guy who disagrees with the CDC. Just think about that. Anyways, his tweet comes in response to the Centers of Disease Control's newly updated COVID-19 guidelines, in which now asserted that asymptomatic individuals do not necessarily need a test, even if they know they've been exposed to the novel coronavirus. Iger is an active, sorry, maybe inactive, part of California Governor Gavin Newsom's Business Recovery Task Force, which is designed to help the state of California reopen carefully and safely while minimizing the economic impact of the pandemic. Although the theme parks and hotels of the Disneyland Resort in California remains temporarily closed, all other Disney theme parks in the world have reopened with strict health and safety measures in place, though Hong Kong Disneyland reclosed after reopening. These new regulations, including mandatory face masks, contactless interactions between cast members and guests whenever possible, and regular cleaning of all rides and attractions. Just yesterday, we reported the chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products, Josh, has said Disneyland is ready to reopen with the same protocols in place. Since Iger, current Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Chapek, and others on the executive board are passionate about keeping both guests and cast members as safe as possible during the phased reopening of the Disney theme parks worldwide, it is unsurprising Iger has spoken out against the CDC's latest COVID update. In April, Iger spoke to Burons about the coronavirus epidemic and its impact on the Disneyland parks and the Disney Cruise Line. He stated, "It's the biggest by far in terms of challenges, although you take it on in ways that are similar to other challenges. You have to be honest with yourself and with the people." Fucking Bob Iger and honest with you lying sack of shit. Anyways, you have to be honest with yourself and with the people you work with and the public. You have to be realistic about the size and this and the impact of it on all of you. And you have to hope it will end eventually. And when it does, at some point, we'll be looking to return to business as usual, even if we know that's a ways away. More importantly, you have to have empathy of what everyone is experiencing, not just the customers. Oh my God. So fucking Bob Iger. I don't even know where to start with this fucking statement. Uh,
That's where I get all my medical advice.
Fucking Bob Iger. Good night, Thomas. Good to have you aboard.
Good night, Thomas. Thanks for hanging out.
Bobby Boy is always interesting. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Holy fuck. Bob Iger, let me ask you something, Bob. let me fucking ask you something. Where the fuck did you get your medical degrees? I just want, where did you learn how to diagnose and where did you learn the contaminant procedures and all this shit that they have to learn? Bob, are, I guess Bob just wants to rule the world and he thinks as someone who has all this money, he just fucking knows everything. That that must be it. He just has every degree. Bob's just the fucking man. I mean, it is. I, fuck PB. What do you got? I don't even know what to say.
He's some kind of special.
Like, I can't, like, who has
Like,
the
I don't
balls?
understand the point of disagreeing with the CDC.
Like,
I mean, I guess I was expecting it to go in the other direction. I didn't expect the CDC to tell people that they don't have to get tested for whatever reasons, but they are the ones that allegedly have the scientific information to make these judgments and tell you what you should and should not do. I don't want to wear a fucking mask. I don't wear it
I,
unless I'm told I have to.
like, don't get me wrong. I totally agree with what you're saying too. Like wearing the mask and everything. I mean, I work at a factory and we're going to 12-hour days in October. I don't want to be wearing a fucking mask for 12 hours. But if the CDC, the people who are
Nope.
paid that go to school and they work with deadly viruses and they're telling me that you have to wear a mask, this is mandated, whatever, then I'm going to wear the fucking mask. I'm not going to come out and tell them they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I operate a machine. I don't think I'm qualified to tell the CDC the
Right?
proper protocols. I'm not. Let me put it this way.
Right.
I
I
don't.
will come on here and say that I have chosen to personally not wear a mask, but I'm not going to go out and say, hey, you see what the CDC said? I'm not so sure about this. You don't need to wear a mask. No, man, it's up to you
Yeah,
from my
like,
perspective. So
yeah,
if I'm not going to go against what the CDC said. I'm not going to retweet them with a comment. Like, I don't know what the hell Bob Iger did, like a fucking weirdo.
it's like Bob, you can't run Star Wars. How are you gonna fucking tell the CDC how to do their job? You're you Jesus Christ, I don't even know what to say about this man. Like it seems like every time we do a show, I come across an article about another thing that Bob Iger comes out and says that's fucking ridiculous. Like, like this, I mean, there's never a dull moment. Like when I'm looking for stories, I can always count on the fact that Iger has said something through the week that I'm gonna have some kind of material on. This guy is the gift that keeps on giving. Like, oh my god, what up, all out bubblegum? Like Iger, how do you come out and disagree with the CDC? I don't under. I don't. This is a man who apologized to George Lucas because I guess we fucked up. I misled you, George. And he's gonna the same guy's gonna turn around and be like, I don't know about the fucking CDC. I don't think they got it right. How the fuck are you qualified to comment on a pandemic, Bob? What makes you qualified? I want to know your fucking
Right?
qualifications,
Like
Bob.
a better tweet, a much better tweet would have been the CDC updated their standards, but here at Disney, we're still going to continue to test our employees regularly. Like, that would be a much better tweet because then that just shows how much better your standards are than the CDC instead of shitting on their informed opinion instead of your conjecture on something you read in the New York Times.
That PB, that was elegantly stated. Um, that was a great point. Like I can't say it any better. Like that is exactly the way you go about any other CEO in the fucking world could have probably phrased that better than fucking Bobby Iger, who has to retract something it seems like every fucking week. He's sticking his foot in his mouth with some kind of stupid asinine comment that he comes out with. You want to read what Jamie Vick put? Because I thought that it was pretty funny.
Yep. Jamie Vick says, but hey, if LeBron James knows everything about police reform and prison reform, Bob can comment on the virus.
Jamie, I guess we just got to stop listening to the people who get paid to know about this shit. We just need to listen to LeBron James, fucking Bob Iger, and this country is going to be in great shape. What the fuck? I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
just, listen to the billionaires. Just listen to the billionaires and you'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Don't look at that
okay.
city burning. Everything is fine.
Hey, Bitchy,
Uh
I never said an hour. I said an hour to 2 hours. I still got time.
oh. Yeah, we're still in that window.
All right. Speaking of which, let's move on because Bob Iger fucking writes himself. Let's talk about another billionaire who's been fucking up.
Dude, that
Jeff
was my transition for you. You're welcome.
Jeff Bezos. So I know I
Sorry.
fucked up that last
Bitchy
name.
Unicorn says, let me fill in the blanks here a little bit. Zod, I still fucking hate you.
Yeah. Um. Love. uh, so Um, PB, I don't got much set up for this. I know of Amazon's issues, but apparently it's pretty fucking bad. I don't know if you saw the highlight for this article, but, but people are pissed.
Nope.
People are pissed when they're putting a guillotine outside of your mansion. Protesters.
I mean, I
Just think
would
about
say someone's upset.
just think about a protester is so angry they made the effort of bringing a guillotine, a, a full-sized fucking replica of the
I think
the guillotine, and putting it outside of your fucking mansion.
I think you might be selling them short a little bit there. They probably had to build it too. You can't just go down to your local Lowe's and buy a guillotine.
Like, when I seen this article, I said, "Holy fuck! What did this guy do?" Like, I've never seen a protest like this. Like, those people are pissed. But then I read the article and I said, "Oh, so so more than 100 demonstrators gathered outside Jeff was it Bezos, right?
Bezos. Put a
Okay.
put a Y in there. Like
Okay.
BAY.
Uh they gathered outside of Jeff Bezos. uh, Washington, D.C. mansion on Thursday. And holy fuck, dude. Oh, this is priceless. They gathered outside of his mansion on Thursday and constructed a guillotine outside his front door to protest the Amazon workers' wages. That is amazing. Dude, they literally built a guillotine outside of this man's home. Wow, they're pissed. The protest came the day after Bezos' net worth surpassed 200 billion, making him the richest person in history, according to Forbes. His wealth has grown
Wait, what number?
by 200 billion.
200 billion.
Yep.
Fucking
His
A.
his wealth has grown by about 85 billion since January, boosted by Amazon's soaring revenue amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Uh, an Amazon warehouse worker who's traveled to DC from Jacksonville, Florida for Thursday's protest told Business Insider she wanted to protest Amazon's enforcement of mandatory overtime during the pandemic. You know what? I don't agree with that because I had fucking mandatory overtime during this pandemic and grow the fuck up, okay? Uh for what I was doing, we had essential functions for like hospitals and shit. You know, and they had to make more of a workload because things were shut down. So businesses had to compensate. I think that's kind of a but anyways, the second part is fucked up because they're not being paid for that. During the pandemic, she is saying she was currently on medical leave and said she felt unsafe showing up to work amid spiking COVID cases in Florida, while Bezos is off living his luxurious lifestyle. The people in the warehouse are suffering. They are making all this money off the back of essential workers. They call us heroes, but you don't force a hero to be a hero. We aren't heroes. We don't have a choice. The guil- the guillotine was a prop, not a functional guillotine, said one of the protesters. A video posted on Twitter by the Washington Examiner reporter shows former Amazon warehouse worker Kristen Smalls, an outspoken Amazon critic, calling for the company to raise minimum wages from 15 per hour to 30 per hour in light of Bezos' surging wealth. The protest was led by the Congress of Essential Workers, a group founded by Smalls. Give a reason why we don't deserve $30 minimum wage when this man makes 4,000 a second. Smalls was fired from Amazon Staten Island warehouse after calling for better safety standards amid the pandemic.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to laugh at the article. You got a text message from the unicorn.
No, that was actually just an update on my game. But anyways, um,
Oh.
Smalls was fired from the Staten Island warehouse for requesting better safety standards, and as a retaliation, organized a walkout after an employee tested positive for corona. Holy shit! But Amazon denied this. Since then, he has led multiple protests targeting Amazon and Bezos, including an August 10th protest outside Bezos' New York apartment building. While COVID-19 pandemic has prompted some Amazon employees to speak out about the working conditions, it's been a financial boon for the company. It reported an 88.9 billion in sales in the second quarter, a 2020 record for the company. An Amazon spokesperson didn't immediately respond with a comment. So what do you think about this?
I think I was trying to take a pill. Give me a moment.
And people in chat, do
That
you
was
think
terrible timing.
do you think that well, let me start with the wage because I work for $15 an hour. Um, why the fuck should an Amazon worker make 30 as opposed to me who's doing, I'm sorry, I don't know what their warehouse is like. I can't claim to know what their warehouse is like, but I operate machinery. I deal with dangerous equipment, steel sheets of metal, shit like that. So you're saying that your workers are in more imminent danger than other factory workers who make $15 an hour? You guys should get fucking $30 an hour? I don't see where the scaling is fair. I mean, the company makes more money, sure, but a $30 an hour minimum wage? Are they fucking crazy?
Dude, like, they better get off their high horses before they get replaced by a robot.
I mean, with all the money he made, he could literally fire everybody in that fucking plant and just replace them. You know, I mean, you know
Oh,
what?
no problem.
Can you read this comment by Jamie Vick? Because I definitely agree.
Jamie Vick says, so they took the job knowing how much they would be paid, and then they decide to change the rules.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's funny with the protest. That's very clever. I mean, and a lot of work. They put a lot. They were pissed. But I mean,
I
requesting.
guess.
I mean, first of all, when you're doing minimum wage, you have to scale it to the state that you live in and what the cost of living is, right? And
Yep.
that seems like a bit of a highballed figure for where they live. Now, I don't know what the cost of living in is in relation to what minimum wage is, but $15 an hour to me sounds pretty damn good for the amount of work that it sounds like they do. And I know factory work is very hard. There's a lot of things you got to do, but I don't imagine they're doing half the shit that I do in a day. Now, I don't know what Amazon exactly constructs there. I don't know what kind of machinery and equipment they're using, but I use reach trucks, counterbalance, forklifts, and all that shit. And I know there's a certain element of danger, hence the amount you get paid. And there's long hours, which I knew going into the job because they tell you you will have mandatory hours you have to work. Like tomorrow, I work, or today, I work fucking, you know, 5 in the morning. I gotta get up. So I know the deal going in. You're telling me these people didn't know that? They didn't get that in the training video? No one told them they would have to do this. Maybe you'd have to work weekends. And I mean, this virus is an anomaly. So people had to adjust their business to stay afloat. I don't, it seems very weird to me. Lemon Pie said, if suddenly they went from 15 to 30 per hour, then you can bet Amazon would find a way to do fewer workers. It's the best economics or basic economics. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're being unreasonable?
Yeah, he's not going to make less money just because you think you're not safe. So, sure, go ahead and get that $30 per hour if you're okay with your friend getting fired. And who knows, maybe you're the friend, you're gonna get fired because it might not be exactly 50%, but it's going to be a substantial number of people that aren't coming back if you think you're going to get instant double pay. Like the money is already allocated to go to certain spots. This is a multi-billion dollar corporation. It's not like they have the money literally just sitting around that they can just, oh, we'll go into the vault and grab this extra cash and we'll pull it out and we'll disperse it amongst the employees for hazard pay. No, that's you can't do that. It's set up to work for the business. So they're like, okay, these are all the workers we got. This is how many we plan to hire over the next year. So this is how much money we're going to budget for all of our workers in the warehouse. That's how much money you have for the fiscal year. When it's gone, it's gone. That's when people get laid off. You fucking idiots. But yeah, go for that $30 an hour.
You know what? You should definitely read this comment by Jamie Vick, which, by the way, Jamie Vick is on a roll tonight.
Jamie Vick says, what do they bring to the company to justify doubling their pay? Have they brought capital to the company? And if the company's stock went down, would they be okay with a pay cut? Oh,
that
that's
that's
freaking
an
hilarious because you
I
damn
know.
well sure they wouldn't be. They'd be like, what do you mean I'm getting paid less? Well, stocks that dips and that's part of your pay.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Look, I am all I am all for it, like if they protest like stupid shit that they do over at Disney at times, or if you are mistreating the workers, or if they're not getting paid the minimum of what they should get paid, that's a different story. But to say you should get paid more because the head of the company is making more money is stupid. They don't have all the same responsibilities Jeff does. They don't know the amount of bullshit Jeff puts up with. I mean, the man's in the spotlight. He literally takes the brunt of every shitty thing that happens. He's the lightning rod. You want that fucking position to get that much money? That's what I say.
No? Was that a question? Or
Yeah,
was that a
I mean,
statement?
it's both. Because, I mean, would you want to have his job and deal with all that bullshit? I sure as shit wouldn't. I mean, I want the 200 billion, but not the fucking responsibility he probably has with that 200 billion.
No, I feel like at some point you should, be so rich as you should have zero responsibility. Everyone else should be taking care of your responsibilities, right?
Yeah, you should have a guy you personally hire who just is the responsibility guy. He just handles
Right,
all
like
of your
I'm not tying my shoes today. Send in the tie and the shoes guy.
I mean, I like what All Out Bubblegum said. He said every time minimum wage goes up, it devolves higher than minimum wage. 30K a year used to be good money. I agree. He brought up very good points. He also said that not to
Yep.
mention, you raise prices, then everyone has to pay. Therefore, they need to make more. Minimum wage is the ultimate circular argument. I absolutely 100% agree with that.
Minimum
We could
wage is dumb and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Why the fuck am I paying minimum wage to some goddamn 15-year-old that ain't never had a job in his entire life? He doesn't know what it is to have a job. Why does he deserve whatever this mythical minimum wage number is that the government came up with? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I understand paying people for their work, and I think it should be situational depending on what you do and how tough the work is, should be what the pay scale is based on. Like, for instance, if I
Fifty-fifty
love
on
the
that.
like for instance, like you work at the movie theater, you put up with a lot of shit. It's tough working with customers, but physically and the responsibilities are not that difficult whatsoever. I mean, maybe nowadays with the corona shit, but pre-corona,
Okay.
that that's not really a taxing job where I think, okay, you should be getting like fucking $15 an hour. No, but if you are operating machines, you're doing something where you can be physically harmed, you got to be careful, you got to depend on a team, well, then that is more demanding. It's dangerous, and you're getting compensated, or you should be getting the amount that the work justifies. Or, you're a farmhand or something like that.
there's a reason that the people in the coal mine get paid more than the people in the salt mine. And it's not because coal is worth more or less.
Oh, without a doubt, all the cave-ins and what they used to call it, black lung, right?
Exactly. It's because it's a hazardous job. So you get hazard pay inherent in that job. So if you want to do it, bust your ass in that fucking coal, go for it. But I don't necessarily like your example because I always do the digging the hole example. Somebody who's digging this hole with a spaded shovel, you're busting your ass, you're working your ass off, but you're probably getting paid close to minimum wage, if not minimum wage. You're not getting paid very much. The same guy digging this same hole with bulldozer, back end loader, something like that, skid steer, whatever piece of machinery, he's probably getting paid double what you are, and his job is substantially easier. But that's where the schooling and experience and all of the shit that you've had to pay for to operate said machinery when it comes to the real heavy stuff goes into that.
Yeah, and I mean,
Like
being on
I
the
don't
other
I
end,
don't I don't trust the young kid with my $100,000 equipment. I trust him with the $10 shovel.
oh, I agree 100%. And, there's also being careful when you're on that machine, being careful for your own personal safety, the safety of those around you. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Um, you know, um, that's, I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. And I think this is where people use Corona to try to get that extra benefit. You know what I mean,
Yep.
PB, with these protests and everything else. It's like they're using this as a springboard to get stupid shit and say stupid things. It's really, uh, I don't know. It's really crazy the shit that people are coming out with now to protest about. I mean, we're just getting ridiculous. What the fuck is next? I mean, really? Like, what else are we going to protest about?
I don't know, probably tomatoes because the majority of them are red. They're
And
triggering.
speaking of triggering, I've got one last article, our last article of the night. Unfortunately, it's about my favorite show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And an actress who was on that show has come out and said some stupid shit that I just have to comment on. If you guys don't know, Buffy was an awesome '90s show that ran to the 2000s. And the person who was on the show, Amber Benson, she played the love interest of Willow, I believe, in the fifth or sixth season of the show. And oh boy, I had to read this because I was like, holy fuck. So, Buffy star Amber Benson on the musical Queer Censorship and Tara's Awful Death. That was her name in the show. Oh, oh my God. This is Rainbow Crew is an ongoing interview series which celebrates the best of the LGBTQ plus representation on TV. Each installment showcases talents working on both sides of the camera, including queer creatives and allies of the community. Next up,
Did you
we're
just say
speaking.
queer creatives?
Yes, yes, I can't make this shit up, BB. Yes,
Queer creatives.
that's
Like
I.
gay.
Yes, that's how Digital Spy wrote up this article.
Fucking
Oh my
A. Okay, continue.
God. And allies to the community. Next up, we're speaking to Amber Benson about the game-changing role on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Spoiler alert, she hasn't done anything since the show. The hardest thing in the world, the hardest thing in this world is to live in it. That's true for more reasons than
Mm,
I could.
I'm gonna
That's
disagree with that.
That's true for more reasons than I could ever list here. But when Buffy said this to Dawn, younger me also found those words strangely comforting. First off, don't fuck up one of my favorite Buffy the Vampire Slayer moments. That was in season 5 when she, and I'm doing air quotes, died, even though she got 2 more seasons. Um, it was a compelling day of television. But anyways, being a teenager is never easy, no matter who you are or where you come from. But it's safe to say that all the loneliness everyone feels is amplified even more when you're queer. And hearing someone else acknowledging that, else acknowledge that on screen shifted something inside of me. Buffy didn't choose to be a Slayer, just like I didn't choose to be gay. But there's a strength to be drawn
Well, that would
from
be a
being.
first in Hollywood.
There's a strength to be drawn from being different and embracing what makes you special. Of course, that's easier said than done. For the longest time, I had fought and denied that part of myself with even more strength than Buffy battling another apocalypse. But then something magical happened. A new character called Tara McCall appeared on the show, and perhaps for the first time ever, I saw my own shy, queer insecurities reflected directly back at me. Fuck me. Okay. Looking back at the first day, Amber Benson recalls walking onto the set of Hush, which was a great episode, set in season 4, and coming across the gentlemen on wheeled platforms. Someone was pulling them, and they just couldn't get the couldn't get it to work right. So for 2 hours, everyone was trying to get the gentleman to float properly. She laughs. I was like, "What have I walked into?" It's a fitting that the episode where people lost the power to speak, Tara's debut ended up giving voice to countless queer audience members viewing the show at home. No one thought about this when we watched the episode. Jesus Christ. Like, I was not saying, oh my God, that episode of Hush, an episode where they literally did not speak for pretty much the whole episode, which was like a first on television. It was great. I did not go, oh my God, they have the first gay character in Buffy. This is such a magical moment. This is the thing that redefines television. No one fucking thought that. Where do they come up with this shit? Oh my God. So,
Dude, it's
as a
Hollywood. They just like look to their neighbor's house.
this was like fucking 20 years ago. Like no one was thinking about this shit. Anyways, as the role
Okay.
gradually became more prominent, this shy young character shifted the show and TV as a whole towards something more inclusive. And that was thanks to large part the relationship with Willow. Sure, there had been other LGBTQ romances on TV, but it's safe to say Tara and Willow fall in love and saved more lives than even Buffy herself could. Bullshit! Bullshit! Fuck you.
They're talking
Buffy saved.
about queer lives.
Almost 20 years on, Benson tells me that both she and co-star Allison Hagen felt honored and still are to the way fans react to their story. I'm so lucky, says Amber. It's a thing I'm proud of as an actor. I look back at Buffy and I'm like, we did something that wasn't just television. I think that it was a beautiful thing. I think it changed the landscape. Before Willow fell under Tara's spell, TV was pretty much full on Hellmouth when it came to anything of positive queer representation. Sure, some important strides were made in the 90s, but they often come at a cost. Shows like Friends reinforced cringeworthy stereotypes, fuck you, and even Ellen DeGeneres came out on her sitcom. The subsequent backlash led to the eventual cancellation. Readers who grew up during this time recall the queer characters were even rarer in the genre television. Looking back, Xena and Gabriella must have slipped a disc carrying the whole queer fantasy fandom on their shoulders. Fuck me, this article. And
Xena's
then
gay?
Terror.
I thought
Yeah.
she fucked Hercules.
Yeah, then she saw her partner and was like, I gotta get me some of that. I didn't mind that storyline. I,
Of
yeah,
course you didn't.
I was. Hey, hey, it's Xena, warrior princess.
Dude, I love me some Lucy
Anyways,
Lawless.
yeah, who's gonna, anyways, and then Terror arrived, just by proudly loving Willow on TV. Amber's character told fans that if you find somebody you love, it doesn't matter what gender or sexual orientation is. If you find somebody, you're lucky. That's a beautiful, wonderful thing, and everyone should have that opportunity. Back in the early 90s, it was still rare to see two women share this kind of affection on screen. You just didn't see that. So while Tara and Willow's relationship is still groundbreaking for a number of reasons, Benson admits the network is still very, very wary about showing the physicality of their love. Standards and practices were like, no, we don't want them touching. We don't want them kissing. Who who said that? Who? Okay, who's ever said in a
That's
show
a
that
load of
has
shit.
two female actresses who are reasonably good looking who said, you know what? I don't want to see that shit. What the fuck is this? I've never had that as
Big
an
gay
argument.
homo said that. Big
I've
gay homo.
never had that as an argument. I never even knew this was a thing about the show. I didn't fucking watch it because Willow got a girlfriend. I barely noticed that storyline. When they kissed, I go, oh, okay. And they did the CGI of the magic swirling around them, and I was like, that's pretty cool effect. And oh yeah, Willow is kissing another girl. I was a kid. like, whoa. No one was thinking like, oh my god, there's two lesbians. What are we going to do? This is all wrong. Oh my god. Anyways, Jesus Christ, is this article
Well, yeah,
almost
them
over?
Christian parents don't know how to explain two women kissing to their childrens.
As their relationship evolved, Tara grew too. Benson recalls how the character started out very shy, very insecure at first. We really worked on portraying that in a physical way. She was almost holding herself. She was so hunched and almost protecting herself. And by the end, she was standing straight and her stammer was almost gone. She was very integrated into the Scooby Gang. While Giles left the season in season 6, Tara became the moral center of the group. And Benson thinks they could have that it could have only happened because Tara took the journey from shy, insecure person to a loved human. The relationship changed. That's what love does. It changes you for the better. But when you're doing a young queer kid living in a small town, somewhere, it's easy to start thinking you'll never find love like that. Most queer storylines back then punished LGBTQ characters for daring to be themselves or just neutered them completely. Jesus Christ, this is a long ass article. Okay. I don't want to read all this shit. This is just gets progressively worse as I go through. Holy fuck, I didn't realize how long this fucking article was. So I'm just gonna get to the end. Despite everything that's happened, it's comforting to imagine Tara living out the rest of her days in domestic bliss. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this show for 20 years ago, she gets shot in like season 6. I thought it was a great episode because it was really impactful and Willow goes crazy and starts killing people with magic. It was the best season ever. But anyways, uh after all, we could talk all we want about Tara's death and how awful it was, but the fact that she existed and that her relationship existed transcends all of that. And Amber's right. The hardest thing this in this world is to live in it, but characters like Tara and Willow help make life a little bit easier to bear, especially for young queer people who might feel alone and unseen. Buffy was a hero that we could all inspire to be, but so was Tara in her own way. She lived to save the world. Jesus Christ. So, PB, what do you think of this article?
I think it's too long.
Yeah, it's a fucking long article.
I didn't
Um,
realize, like, I feel like it was as long as it was so that it could feel like they were not just shouting buzzwords at you constantly, because they were very organic in nature. But holy shit, if they weren't every other sentence or every third sentence. Like, how
like,
many times you gonna say queer in an article?
like, you know, I like what All Out Bubblegum said. By the way, the chat has been awesome. You guys have had some really good comments, so we appreciate them. All Out Bubblegum says the reason Willow worked is because her sexuality didn't DFW. I guess I'm not sure what that abbreviation matter it means, but I'm gonna guess it doesn't matter what her sexual orientation was. He also says being gay didn't define Willow. It was just part of her character. That's why it worked. It wasn't rammed down our throats. I totally agree. And he said same with Xena. Yeah, PB didn't even realize that was a storyline.
I mean, I
That's
guess I
how
didn't
well they did it.
remember. I don't know if I've seen every single episode of Xena. That was one of those Saturday night shows that I think I was watching reruns of on the old UPN.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Why Buffy worked, okay, with several things that they covered, because when you watch that show, Buffy covered a lot of issues. They touched on race, they touched on uh, dealing with college issues, growing up, shit
Apparently,
like
they
that.
touched a bunch of queers.
I mean, yeah, they touched on the gay issue and Willow having a gay lover, but when you watch the show, no one ever thought about that. I never watched I never watched Buffy and said, "Oh my God, the representation. Willow is so empowering being in love with Tara. This is so inspiring. This makes my life worth living." No one ever said that shit. Like, let's just think about this. They did a storyline for Buffy in the 90s and early 2000s, right? That had two gay characters that no one even realized what they were doing, right? Because the writing was tight. No one even realized what the whole thing in. It was just part of the story, and they made it work. Now you go to Hollywood and they feel like they have to shout from the biggest fucking hill how great they are because they made a movie with two characters that are strong, powerful women in love together. It's so great. Look at us. We're inclusive. We're diverse. I mean, they put it in the fucking article. Welcome, perp. I saw you, you son of a bitch.
You got you good. I like what Jamie Vick said. She lived to save the world by fucking around with another woman?
Like, when you think of the storyline, actually, Tara dying was what made Willow become a bad guy. So I really don't know what the connection about saying Tara saved the world. Actually, in the show, the world almost got fucked over. It was Giles who brought Tara back. Uh, or no, it wasn't Giles, it was Xander. Xander and their childhood friendship brought her back from the dark side. That she even like beat Buffy in that season. So I mean, Tara's only role in that season was she got shot and essentially made Willow a bad guy. That was the whole motivation for that season. So I don't know where they pull this like inspirational bullshit that's in this article that they're trying to like prop up a character that was introduced in the later seasons as like a side character and people just happen to like because she's a love interest of one of the main characters. Like, what the fuck? And this is all because they're rebooting Buffy, which I have no interest in seeing a rebooted Buffy. If it ain't got Sarah Michelle Gellar, I don't give a fuck.
I stick to the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the movie was, I like the movie, but I gotta say, the show did a a really good job, especially for what it was and the budget they had. They did a lot of stuff that uh, television shows hadn't done. Buffy set a lot of new, different creative directors, and newsflash for all of you who hate Whedon, that's where he got his start. You wouldn't have the Avengers movies without Wheaton's breakout from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So thank you, Buffy. You gave us Josh. Oh, GP, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
I hope
But
that
yeah,
he left a like. Hope everybody else left a like, considering this is the first time we're saying it tonight. So I know there's been one lurker the entire time. It was
fucking
perfect.
perp. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think this article, it's just crazy that now, just about 20 years later, they're highlighting this. Just because diversity,
Well,
inclusion.
yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Um,
Nicholas Brandon was cool as fuck. I loved him, and Charisma Carpenter is hot as fuck.
I mean, I don't know if the reboot is the reason why whoever wrote this article, but if it is, it sounds almost like they had them talk about how the old show was woke, so that when they talk about how this one is more woke, you already have the baseline and it's been established in your mind, and you can be like, oh well, if it's gonna be more woke than the original, then I gotta definitely not watch.
Yeah, I get really nervous when articles like this start surfacing when they talk about the reboot that is in production and they're currently working on. Like when they said, "Oh, we race swap Buffy," I was like, "Oh, fuck me. Here we go." Because look, there's been a African American Slayer. I'm gonna be politically correct here, as I always am here in the fandom zone. Uh, and she was awesome. And it was because Buffy had died and then came back for the first time. And like she died for like I don't know, it was like a minute or something, and then Xander brought her back. It was in the first season, and every time a Slayer dies, another Slayer appears. So that's why there was always two of them because they fucked up whatever the prophecy was, and they're like, oh shit, she's not dead. Welp, too late to take it back. So they had more than one Slayer at a time. But Buffy was always uh, had a message. It just didn't beat you over the head with what that message was because Josh Wheaton is a good writer and he put it into the story, but made us give a shit about the characters and the story. The message was just like cleverly snuck in there. You can, as a person, discern it and take from the episode what you wanted to take from it, as a good creator should. And that should be the difference they highlight between 90s and 2000 shows and these shitty shows that we have now.
Nah, man, just check boxes.
Perp says, African American Slayer? Laugh my ass off. I knew I get Perp out of the shadows.
I mean, that's
uh,
the only way that you stop from getting killed as the black person in a horror show. I mean, it's a
well,
horror show, right?
yeah, here's the funny part though. They killed her off in the last she only appeared in the last two episodes of season 2 and they killed her right away. So yeah, I mean, it was still the 90s. She was on a two-part episode and it was the introduction of Spike and he fucking killed her. That was like, you know, the introduction of Spike as a villain. And I was like, wow, she didn't have that long of a run.
You don't want to deal with that bitch no more.
But yeah. Um anyways, I'm gonna kind of wrap things up because fuck, five comes
Finally,
too quickly. Uh
you're gonna get
but
murdered
anyway,
when you go back in the house.
oh yeah. If y'all don't hear from me, a magical unicorn has impaled me. With her horn, take that as you will. Anyways, uh PB, what do you got going? What's new on your channel and the profits?
Um, I don't know what the newest video is. Newest video on my channel was how to social distance with Stargate SG-1. I just found an old clip and spliced a little something together that apparently is very pertinent in today's society. And it'll probably make you laugh. It's only 53 seconds. So if you want to check that out, you can go to my channel and, have a laugh. And on the Profits of Geek Culture, what Perp did a review of animated Superman movie. And then what was the other video that was out? I don't remember. That's the one that's doing good. And the one that I put out's doing shit.
By the way, I
Uh,
want to give a shout out to Perp Minded really quick. He's been doing some random streams. They're really entertaining. I have been lurking, watching you guys. It's pretty funny. They have one on the DC fandom where they talked about that. LB was on there and everyone. You definitely should check out those and also check out I guess he did something on Chadwick Boseman. I saw it on Twitter. So go check out Perp Minded's channel, show him some love. Uh he definitely has some great content and he does reviews on everything. Literally everything. Any show that's a show or any movie that's a movie, I can guarantee you Perp's got it somewhere in his playlist.
Yeah, he's like the American version of Crack Skull Media.
Yeah, like Perp covers shit. Like he's covered some shows I would have never known were a thing until I seen a review pop up, and I'm like, what? This is a thing? So yeah, definitely go check out Perp Minded's channel and go check out his reviews because he's got everything. And I'm sure if there's a show you're curious about whether or not it's good, Perp's got it on his channel and he'll tell you if it's good or if it's trash. So yeah, definitely go check out his channel. But anyways, tomorrow you can check out me, Pop Culture PB, and my dad as we talk about a serious topic. I don't know what it's going to be about. I believe it's a
Oh,
shooting that happened in Kenosha.
hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna send you the details on that, but it was very interesting. My dad actually did his first video and it was on this shooting. Why it was interesting, I'm not going to tell you. You guys are just going to have to check us out as we talk about it, but we'll do that in some serious world news. We're going to talk about the coronavirus, some of the things that are going on with it. What is the CDC doing? The new guidelines. How is this going to affect your everyday life? Saturday's more of our serious talk, so we'll be on here and we're going to have a great discussion and some great banter. We really have some good chemistry with us going there. And then on Sunday, me and Stevie J Raw, because he's not reviews anymore. I got to get used to that. Me and Stevie J will be talking about Braveheart. Why is Braveheart one of the best war epics ever made? Come and watch. I mean,
Because
it's not
of
Australian.
freedom.
Oh God, greatest line. I will argue with anyone. That's not the greatest. You don't hear that line and think, I want to just fucking take on the English army right now. When he screamed freedom, I was like, fuck you, England. Fuck
Yep,
you.
when he screamed that, I was like, that is a real American.
The irony too, because he's like Scottish in that movie. But yeah, I mean, it's a great war epic. We're gonna talk about just how great the movie is in general. Probably one of the finest Mel Gibson movies, and that's really hard to say it's the finest because Mel Gibson has done great epics, but this is probably his best epic, and we are going to tell you why. So come by on Sunday and check that out. And yeah, I'm still working on my Constantine video. I will eventually release that. Do you know how hard it is to find clips of John Constantine and splice them together? Like, there's so much media. Like, I went through the Keanu Reeves movie, and then the animated movie, and then the one with Matt Ryan, the first show, Constantine, and then Legends of Tomorrow. Like, fuck, this is so much work. But I'm going to show you why. Hands down, Constantine is the strongest DC hero or anti-hero, depending on how you look at him, in the DC universe. So check that out. I'm going to have that on the Prophets of Geek Culture channel. Anyways, thank you, everybody. And remember the only rule here in the fandom zone, kneel before General Zod.
Never, wacko.